Title: Nikki's Surgery. Outcome: an original fan fiction inspired by the young and the restless. The first rays of morning sunlight spilled through the windows of Genoa City's Memorial Hospital, but there was little warmth to be found inside the surgical waiting area. Silence settled over the room like a heavy blanket as Victor Newman paced endlessly from one wall to the other. For the first time in years, the powerful businessman looked powerless. His suit was immaculate as always, but exhaustion lined his face. Every few seconds he glanced toward the operating room doors where Nikki had disappeared nearly 6 hours earlier. Victoria sat quietly beside Nick, clasping a cup of untouched coffee. Adam stood near the window, saying nothing. Even the long-standing tensions within the Newman family had dissolved in the face of uncertainty. No one knew what the next few minutes would bring. The operating room lights finally switched off. The doors slowly opened. A surgeon stepped into the hallway, removing his surgical mask. Victor hurried forward. "Doctor?" The physician paused before speaking. The surgery was far more complicated than we anticipated. Everyone held their breath. We encountered unexpected scar tissue that made the procedure extremely delicate. Victoria instinctively reached for Nick's hand. Adam lowered his eyes. Victor remained perfectly still. "Is she alive?" he finally asked. The surgeon nodded slowly. "Yes." A wave of relief swept through the waiting room. "But..." The single word erased every smile. "The next 24 hours are critical. Nikki survived the operation, but her body has endured tremendous stress. Whether she fully recovers depends on how she responds over the next several hours." Victor closed his eyes briefly. For perhaps the first time in decades, he whispered a simple prayer. Inside the intensive care unit, Nikki lay motionless beneath white blankets. Machines beeped steadily while nurses carefully adjusted medications. Victoria entered first. She gently took her mother's hand. "You've beaten impossible odds before," she whispered. "Don't stop fighting now." Moments later, Victor stepped into the room alone. He looked at the woman who had stood beside him through countless triumphs and disasters. The billionaire's confident expression disappeared. "I've spent my whole life believing I could fix anything," he said quietly. "But I can't fix this." He leaned closer. "I still need you, Nikki." Almost immediately, the heart monitor changed rhythm. A nurse looked up. "Doctor!" Medical staff rushed inside. Victor was escorted into the hallway as alarms echoed throughout the ICU. The Newman family watched helplessly as doctors fought to stabilize Nikki once again. After several tense minutes, the alarms finally stopped. The physician emerged. "She's stable." Victor released a long breath. "But she hasn't regained consciousness." The doctor explained that the surgery had been successful medically, yet Nikki's brain and body needed time to recover. There was no guarantee of when, or even if, she would wake up. Late that evening, the family gathered around Nikki's bedside. Nick shared stories from childhood. Victoria laughed through tears as she remembered her mother's determination. Even Adam admitted that Nikki had shown him kindness during some of the darkest moments of his life. Then something remarkable happened. Nikki's fingers twitched. Victor noticed first. "Nikki?" Her eyelids fluttered. The entire room froze. Slowly, she opened her eyes. Confused but alive, Nikki looked at Victor. He smiled with tears in his eyes. "Welcome back." The room erupted in relieved laughter and joyful tears. Although her recovery would take weeks, the hardest battle had finally been won. Victor squeezed her hand gently. "This family isn't complete without you." Nikki managed the faintest smile. "And I'm not finished fighting." Outside the hospital window, the sun finally broke through the clouds, offering hope that even after the darkest storms, brighter days could still lie ahead.